Hello and welcome to the Trading Post podcast, where we unlock the secrets of business-to-business trade, dive into powerful networking strategies, and share my exciting journey of using a podcast to market my business instead of relying on SEO. I'm your host, Trader Stu. Well, now, pitter patter, let's get at her. I wanted to get the season 4 opener going here because I have been inspired by the Get Prep video game that I am going to be an NPC in, and I thought to myself, I need to do a season 4, which I've always left open. The plan was always left to do 4 seasons. Of course, 3 seasons doesn't make sense. It would if you're doing it in sequential order, but I'm doing them in categories. So I would always wanted to do like the prepping, camping, some sort of nature like that for a season, but couldn't figure out the angle. Well, given time, about a year, I guess, it makes sense now. I'm doing it so it correlates directly with business and how entrepreneurs, business owners can get prep their business for the future or SHTF, and then also for the busy entrepreneur that works crazy hours, and how you too can be a prepper, so to speak, to, get ready for any kind of natural disaster or whatever crazy thing is going to come to us in 2026. Because if anything is like 2025, we're in for a heck of a ride. So, with that being said, welcome to season 4, the Trading Post podcast. Of course, I'm sponsored by Metro Trading Association. And I always like to say, even though the Renaissance Festival is over, I will always be, I think, sponsored by them. I like those guys. Good people. I was just over there the other day to get some tickets for Dazzle. If you haven't been there yet, that's really cool. They line up the whole Michigan Renaissance Festival area with a bunch of lights and other festivities in the grounds there. I went there with the family the other day, and so check that out. They're not paying me to say that. It really was a good time. If my toddler's hands didn't get cold, we would have stayed there a little bit longer. But, next year maybe, it's always a good time though. And then, of course, press X to play, which is why, because of Sarita, I will be in the Get Prep video game that's being launched hopefully here soon. I saw that my voice actor has completed my voice. Yes, I am not my own voice in the video game because this is Hollywood, man. You're no longer a version of yourself. They just use my likeness as the trader at the Trading Post. But hopefully my voice actor, I haven't heard myself yet, did a great job. It's funny because he almost kind of looks like me if I was about, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 years older. I don't know how old he is, but hopefully, I don't know if he listened to the podcast to get ideas or if he just shot from the hip. I'd like to talk to him one day and I can't wait to see what I sound like when the game launches. So, where were we jawing about B2B sales, marketing, networking, and the fine art of trade and barter like it's the last deal on earth? This season, we're locking arms with that Get Prep video game. And the vibe of that, but hold on to your horses. Prepping is not just like the homesteaders hoarding bunkers and mason jars like doomsday knocking at the door. Nah, it's for you sharp operators in business suits, the ones who smell the market shifting faster than a coyote on a full moon run. Supply chains are snapping like suspenders and opportunities hammering down like thunderbolts from the gods of commerce. So getting prepped is the real juggle. That's the system thicker than a wolf pack. Strategies slicker than greased lightning. Adaptability that laughs in the face of the abyss. Same grit keeping frontier towns standing through blizzards. And that's the rocket fuel launching companies into the stratosphere when the whole world's gone sideways, man. Where you're dealing with B2B contracts worth millions or straight up bartering inventory like Renaissance Road of Warriors, dodging cannon fire. The wisdom's carved in stone. Prep before the thunder rolls, not when it's drowning out your screams. This season, we're tearing the lid off future-proof an empire Contingency blueprints after barter networks woven tighter than a spider's web in the hurricane, leading your crew through the firestorm like Moses parting the Red Sea of red tape. Today, we strap in and correlate these ragged wars worldwide with the unbreakable hustle of business beasts, Ukraine's foxholes, Lebanon's blackout badlands, and Gaza's grit grind. Business ain't just hanging on. They're roaring ahead. Wolves feasting while sheep scatter. Grab your notebook, tally your stockpile, and let's plunge into the madness. Stock 4. Season 4 kicks off now. Full throttle, man. So, picture the fever dream, folks. Late 2025, and the world's a bonfire of conflicts. Ukraine's bleeding out on the front lines. Gaza's a rebel roulette. Lebanon's lights flickering like junkies' last high. And shadows creeping everywhere else. Supply lines shredded like confetti in a cyclone. Power grids dancing the jitterbug of doom. Economies free-falling faster than the lead balloon. But amid the apocalypse carnival, B2B hustlers are blooming like desert flowers after the flood. Ukraine's war machine clocking 3 to 5.5% growth yearly. SMBs surging 44% despite blackouts. That'd make a vampire weep. Lebanon's spawning solar kingdoms from the dark. And Gaza's door-to-door barons slinging essentials like underground prophets. This ain't mere survival. Brothers and sisters, it's the gospel of the pivot and the straight dope on thriving when the reapers call and collect. Fun fact, though, numero uno, straight from the Gonzo ledger, Roshan, the Afghan mobile mammoth, pumps $390 million into the all 34 Taliban-tormented provinces since 2003, actually. Hiring 25,000 souls and watching telecom demand explode 300%. Turns out, in the heart of hell, folks crave a hotline to the outside world more than their next breath. Fact 2, Ukrainian trailblazers like Nova Pashta led delivery drones over cratered highways, smashing revenue records by going full sky pirate when the ground turns into gravel soup. Fact 3, Kabul's Camilla Siddiqui spins up a woman's sewing syndicate that scales and whispers and barter, dodging IEDs like a ghost in the machine. Her sagas etched into tombs, the orange trees of Kabul, pure, unfiltered legend. Conflict? It's the ultimate accelerator for the street-smart innovators sniffing out needs in the smoke. So, all right, let's zoom in to the eye of the beast. Ukraine ground zero for the modern war business safari. Safe routes, pure firebrand invasion. Hits 2022 like a freight train from the Hades. He flips his logistics outfit into a global evac app. Yanks 200 plus staff from the hot zones, wires them up remote style, and boom, $10 million. Plus, export beast roam the world stage. Local nightmare, global jackpot. Then revive Ukraine, recycling bomb shrapnel into eco bricks, scooping 500 displaced warriors to rebuild the ruins. Revenue triples on local hauls and butter deals with import-starved builders, turning death metal into dollar signs. Lebanon, Zayed Anoun's Leb Resilience is the blackout buster. He spins endless power cuts into solar-powered co-working dens, unbreakable Wi-Fi calling freelancers from the gridless void, churning B2B leases and barter bazaars for tech trades. Scarcity is his secret sauce. Afghanistan's Datsy dames hawk handmade soccer balls cross-border, echoing B2B chains when the banks go belly up. Reputation's the new gold standard, baby. Hell, even in the history's ghosts, non-approval, and Renaissance merchants, as we chewed over before, sidestepped Europe's endless bloodbaths with diversified routes and alliances webs thick as thieves. So a couple of stats here that I pulled from different areas that are in SHTF situations that are kind of, they prepped and made it happen, or they're prepping and making it happen. So you got the business safe route. They're in the conflict zone, Ukraine. The core pivot, evac app, and remote Wolfpack. Revenue impact, global. They had a 5x surge. The Revive Ukrainian is the other business, and they're, of course, in Ukraine. Their core pivot, shrapnel to bricks, alchemy, and solar dens. So tripled on barter fuel. Then you get the Lebanon resilience. It's called Leb resilience, actually. They're in Lebanon, of course. And they came from the darkness with solar power. And they got the B2B lease avalanche. And then you got Roshan. They're in Afghanistan. Mobile empire in the void. 25,000 jobs and 300% boom. And then you got Dazzle, I mentioned them. They're in Afghanistan. Border, barter, sorcery, women-led empire rise. So it can be done in talking about making the dark side light, right? So just some more stuff I wrote up real quick just to be fun with it. So the SHTF prep strategies from the trenches. So how do these road warriors lace up before the thunder? Step one, they forged business continuity plans tougher than a badger's hide. Ukrainian chiefs mapped backup suppliers and bolt holes pre-invasion, keeping 70% humming day one, while the unprepared ate dirt at 30%. Step two, diversify, like those Renaissance road dogs. Weave barter chains for inventory swaps when that fiat turns to fairy dust. Hoard 6 to 12 months of liquidity. Cross-train your pack for every role under the sun. Friend sure to steady allies beyond the blast radius. The digital clash, the clincher. Ukrainians' e-commerce detonates 500% as roads dissolve. Nova Pashta's app slings 80% of the freight. UN-style audits seal the ethical edge, blocking dirty funds and paving post-war trust highways. Gonzo's prep gem run quarterly war room fever dreams. Corporate war games testing blackouts and snaps. Gibraltar hustlers live by them. For B2B armor plate, for your B2B arena. Audit those networks today. Who swaps what? Hybrid remote yesterday. These ain't fairy tales. They're frontline blueprints for the sales pipeline that shrug off bombs or busts. The takeaway. Wars are worldwide? Yeah, they're hollering the raw truth. Straight to no chaser. Adaptability devours assets for breakfast, and business prep and boils down to resilient rings. Barter-ready packs. Mindsets that alchemize threats into trades. Ukrainian apps conquering globes. Lebanese dens illuminate voids. And Afghan firebrands building empires from the ash. All strapped in before the Big Bang. So what's your play? How are you prepping that B2B beast? Or even B2C, doesn't matter. So whatever you're doing out there, prep it or no prepping, be good or be good at it.